Quick confession, Devil Wears Prada did not need a sequel. I had to say it. You know, while everyone is still talking about the sequel, I want to unpack something that you likely missed in the OG, okay? Andy Sachs, she didn't take the job at Runway because she wanted to. She took it because it was a way in the door, a foot in the door. A year, two tops. Remember, she said she'd stay herself, she'd stay grounded. She had a boyfriend, good friends, a clear sense of who she was. She was good, right? You probably said something like that too when you took your role and it stopped fitting the way that it should, because no one tells you when that shift starts. It doesn't announce itself. Hello, everything's changing. One day you just stop wearing what you actually like and start wearing what the room expects. One day you stop pushing back and you just start repositioning. It's like one day you're making decisions that 6 months ago you would have paused on, and someone who loved you, right, says, "Hey, you've changed." And what do you say back? No, I'm just growing. But honestly, you're not sure what's true anymore. You remember that Cerulean moment? Miranda didn't yell at Andy. She gave her a speech about Cerulean. I don't even know how to spell it. If you do, that's great. Remember, she talked about how every choice in that sweater was made by someone in a room that Andy never sat in a season that Andy never thought about. You think you made a choice that exempts you from that industry? No, but the industry was already making choices for her. I know you're ready for the corporate translation, right? You're following along, right? You think you're deciding freely, but the performance standards, the invisible rules about who gets promoted and who gets passed over. Come on, you felt this. The pressure to stay likable, stay available, stay reliable. They've been making decisions for you longer than you've been paying attention. And that's not weakness. That's just how pressure works. And if you've ever looked up from your career and thought, I don't know when I stopped deciding and when I started performing, type cerulean in the comments. I know it's a big word. Maybe you can cheat and type blue, BLUE, because that's the moment. That's where the decisions under pressure, that conversation, that's where it has to start. In fact, the hardest part of that movie, it isn't the makeover, it's the moment in the car. Come on, you remember it, right? Miranda says, "Here, I see a great deal of myself in you." And Andy actually realizes what's happening. Not that she's becoming great, but she's becoming someone she didn't choose to be. She made the same decision that Miranda had under the same pressure for the same reasons. Now, that is an ouch. And the question she asks with her eyes in the car is the same one that I hear in quiet moments after my workshops. When did I start making decisions for this company that I would never make for myself? You don't get transformed overnight, okay? You get transformed through a series of decisions made under pressure. They build the pressure to perform, the pressure to be chosen. Come on, what's next? The pressure to stay in the room. You're with me, right? And none of those decisions feel like selling yourself out. No, they don't feel like that in the moment. What do they feel like? They feel like you're being smart. They feel like you're being strategic, and it feels like resilience, right? Because that's what you hear. Until one day they feel like a stranger's answer to a question you didn't write. Are you ready for another moment you missed? Okay, I'll give you one more, okay? Remember when Andy threw the phone in the fountain? She didn't throw it in because she was weak, right? She threw it in because she finally made a decision that wasn't under Miranda's pressure. That's not recklessness, right? That's repositioning, not dramatic quitting, not burning down the career she built, not performing a breakdown to prove she had limits. It was just one decision that was actually hers. Now, the question for you, it isn't whether the pressure has shaped you. We know it has. It's shaped all of us. My hand is raised. Me. It shaped me. Okay. I will be the first one to admit. But the question is, which of your recent decisions were actually yours? Which ones were pressure, where pressure was wearing your name? And where would you choose if you weren't pressured to stay in that moment? You don't need to be in Paris to ask this, but you do need to slow down long enough to look at the decisions that you've been making about your time, your capacity, your standards, and who's been driving. That cerulean sweater is everywhere, okay? The question is whether you can see it. And if you're ready to separate your decisions from the pressure that's been making them, that's the work. It's not dramatic, okay? It's not reckless. It's intentional. It's deliberate. And when you are ready for that conversation, I'll see you there. Can I tell you something? They didn't need to remake Devil Wears Prada. It didn't need a sequel. The first one, it was good enough. Some movies just don't need to be a sequel. I had to say it. Somebody had to say it.